Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Gonzo, how are yourself?
Very well. Good morning to you too on this pre-recorded cup of tea.
Don't confuse people. People in the live chat, it's live. Don't you worry. We can read your questions and we need your questions. Don't let him put you off. You're right though. You've been keeping well.
Just had me frosties yet. Lovely.
Happy days. Right, not much topics tonight, so we're going to be heavily relying on the live chat later in the show. But there is one big topic. It fell into our lap last night from an ex-West Ham player. Thank you very much. Mark Arnautovic. He popped up on Mass Wacko's Instagram Live. Did you see it? Not the Instagram Live, the comment.
I saw the comment, and somebody had kindly screenshotted the Instagram Live, which I've since seen, probably at least 100 times. So yeah, I'm very much aware of it. Geo, were you excited?
No. To be honest, I was quite the opposite. I thought, what's the point in that comment? Like, why? There's been context added later, which I'll give it to you in a minute. But in case you haven't already got it, and for the viewers, I'll give the context to the comment. But when I first saw the comment, I thought, what good is going to come out of this? Like, you're just riling people up a little bit, and I just think it's almost like trolling. I think it's a professional footballer's way of trolling. He's trolling his former club, his former fan base. It's like, hey. And if anything, I actually thought it summed him up as a player. Actually, he still thinks he's too good for West Ham. The comment just came across, you need someone back to sort things out, just give me a shout. And I just thought, oh, piss off.
What was the context? What was the extra bit?
I'll put that at the end, because that's going to then spoil the discussion we're going to have.
Oh, was it? All right. Well, yeah. Well, I thought it was... I think it was I thought it was genuine. I read it slightly differently to you. I've often wondered, for the last month or so, I've wondered... about the wider topic of how important is money anyway, to footballers. At the moment, does it matter whether you've got 2 million or 10 million? No, you're not really any better off if you've got 10. You might as well have you might as well have 2 million and be in a place that you're comfortable with and near your family, rather than 10 million and 3,000 miles away from home. But as part of that, because obviously the epicenter of this outbreak was China. That was where, and Wuhan in particular. Now I've got to very much say I don't believe the figures that are coming out of there. I think that is mass media controlled by a police state, which is what you've got over there. The truth will out one day, but you will find you look at everyone else's curve is doing that, and then China's no. I mean they're suffering as much as anybody, probably more, because that's where it started. It's just being covered up. But I do wonder how those players that took the pounds. What is it? What's the currency?
Yen?
That's Japan. What's the currency?
I don't know then.
That's terrible. So, shout out when someone puts it in the chat. I'm not watching the chat.
Just call it the Chinese dollar. You'll be all right.
Chinese dollar.
You'll be all right.
The Chinese shilling. Okay. If you decided to take the Chinese shilling, like Marko Arnautovic, not only do you find yourself stranded away from home, I know he got out, but you know what I'm saying. Not only do you find yourself stranded away from home, you find yourself stranded in the sort of the disease epicenter of the world where it all started off. And I just wonder now if people like that don't think, that was a bad error. I was on 100 grand a week at West Ham. All right, fair enough. I'm on 300 grand a week here, but what does it mean? And then you hear all the stuff, which is trying to say, oh, we're going to get our football back up and running so everybody can watch our game. You've got no football, you can all watch the Chinese Super League. Well, that's convenient, but I often think at the point where they say to the players, oh, can we recall you got to come back to China now. I think if I was one of those players thinking, oh really, right, okay, I think they'd be very, very reluctant to go back there and play. I think it's going to have an impact next time they start chucking their money around to start trying to lure superstar players. Who was the geezer at Chelsea? Oscar went. Tevez went. There was a number of them. Of course, they went. Rondon went. I know he wasn't a superstar player, but I do wonder these guys.
Hulk was the first big name.
Hulk, yeah, that's right. Hulk went. And I just wonder if they didn't think, actually, number one, we shouldn't have done this. Number two, if they were stranded there, they remain stranded there. Number three, at the point they're being recalled, and let's say, Hulk is Brazilian. I know he's probably retired or whatever now, but if Hulk sat there in Brazil, for instance, and they're saying, right, okay, come back to China now, he's probably thinking, oh, hold on, I'm a multi-millionaire. I'm sat in my pool in Brazil. I've got the gates closed. There's nothing coming to get me while I'm here. I don't want to go back to China. I do wonder when you put it into the context of Arnautovic, forgetting what he did to us for a second. I bet at the moment, if there's a choice between him going back to China or coming back to play at West Ham, I bet he wants to come back and play at West Ham. I think there's a large part of that where he might be thinking, oh, me and Daniel, it's his brother, isn't it? Me and Daniel, maybe we can go back to West Ham for a bit before Real Madrid sign me. Maybe he's thinking that.
Yeah, a couple of people in the live chat have asked what the comment was. Should probably have wrote that down, to be honest with you, but I've got it here. He wrote Masuaku's in an Instagram live, and Marko Navic commented, and it said, tell them that West Ham need me. I come, bro. Know what it is. Come spelled C-O-M-E, just for context. That's quite an important spelling as well. Otherwise, Marko Navic's story's got a lot different and darker in the story. But the real question that people want to know is, would you have him back? I think I know your answer, and I think it's the same as mine, but would you have him back?
No, I wouldn't. I would hope, after all this is said and done, I'm sort of hoping for a slightly different football. I'm sort of hoping for fees to go down, for wages to go down, for be a little bit more realistic. I'm sort of hoping that football's realise how important the fan is. I'm sort of hoping that footballers and clubs realise, actually, all right, it might not be the fan of the stadium, but they're still paying £110 a month on their Sky subscription. Actually, the fan is very, very important, because if there's no product there, then the television companies don't give us any money. And obviously for the lower league clubs, it's important for the people going through the gates. I think they'll discover pretty quickly if they play these games behind closed doors, which they do, that the fan is very, very important. And with that in mind, because I want a more sort of utopian football where I'm just sick. Basically, Gio, I'm sick of everybody, all these multi-millionaires and billionaires, and then everybody else is sort of suffering and not getting any wages and struggling for food and toilet roll and stuff. I just hoping things change. And the very pinnacle of that greed, the very thing it represents, if you had to do a meme or a GIF or something like that to represent greed in football, Arnautovic would be up there for me. But for the pure and simple reason, he said he wanted to leave, made all the noise about wanting to leave. We then gave him a massive new contract. He did one more window, and then basically he got his brother to start spouting off again, and then basically left anyway. It was unscrupulous. It was crass. He used us. I just don't. You know what? At some point, you've got to keep your own values. And even if he made us 10% better, I don't care. I did a video about us maybe losing some players who weren't bothered, maybe having some more youngsters in there, about building a bigger link between the team and the fans, and having more academy players in there. And I said about Anderson, yeah, well, Anderson wants to go, let him go. We'll play Diangana on the wing. I spoke about, these players coming through, about Ngakia, playing there and so on and so forth. The last thing I want to do you remember? Sorry, I know I'm going on a bit of a rant here. Do you remember when he then said, I want to explain why I'm leaving? And I think it was Baz spoke to him on the phone, perhaps. I think, tell me if I got this wrong. I think Baz spoke to him on the phone and maybe recorded the conversation. Is that right?
He didn't record it.
He didn't record it, but Baz spoke to him on the phone.
Yeah.
And then he said, look, I'm gonna do an interview. Funny enough, Diafra said the same thing, but anyway, that's not very long. I'm going to do an interview. And then what I'll do is I'm going to give some stuff to the Isla Fund and all the rest of it. Don't worry, come on, you wires, or whatever he might have said. I don't know, I never saw any interview with him apologising. I couldn't say. I don't know enough about the Isla Fund to know if he contributed to it, or whether Baz got those shirts, or whether they were auctioned off, or whatever. But I just think the manner in which he left, we call Payet the snake. I don't know, maybe him and his brother, maybe Arnautovic is the two-headed serpent or something like that. I don't know. I don't want him back.
Yeah, I wouldn't want him back. I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole for various reasons. First is how he treated us while he was here. It was almost like we were an inconvenience to Marko Arnautovic, to be honest with you. There's that saying in football, no one's bigger than a club. He felt like he was bigger than West Ham. Actually, the comment on Masuaku's Instagram, before I apply context, implied that he still is bigger and better than West Ham, as if he could just walk back into the club, walk back into the starting 11 and carry on as if nothing happened. We need to have some sort of integrity and pride as a football club, and not bend over backwards for people. He's the last guy I want to see come walking in the door. But even taking how he left aside, he's getting on a little bit. We've just seen what happens when you bring someone back from China on big money and you take him back on lesser money at your football club with Pellegrini in terms of the whole retirement thing. Why would you do it with a football player who's, how old is he now, 30? 31 now? He was 29 when we had him, so he's probably about 30 now. So why would you want someone on the wrong side of his 20s coming to your football club? Anyway, regardless of who it is, that's not what we want. We want young, hungry players, to quote David Moyes, and to back David Moyes. That's what we want. So even if he left in a decent manner, I still don't want him back because of his age. He was getting a bit not injury prone while he was picking up nickels and stuff while he was at West Ham. And where would you play him? Up front? Well, no, because when he was up front for us, you could tell he wasn't a striker at times. Would you play him right wing? Well, no. We've just gone and signed Jared Bowen. I'd much rather see him. Would you play him left wing? Well, nah. I'd actually rather see Felipe Anderson or Mikel Antonio out there. And then thirdly, you mentioned it, the one player that would suffer the most is Grady Diangana. I wouldn't want anyone to stand in the way of Grady Diangana. Now he'd go get someone like, I don't know, let's just say we got Jack Grealish. I know we won't ever, but just go on with him for a second. Then I wouldn't complain if he was in Diangana's way. But for someone at 30, nah, I just don't want him. I would never want to see Marco Navic, even on a free. I still wouldn't take him. I still would not want him back on a free transfer. Piss off, Marco. Honestly, just go away. You've made your bed, lie in it. Now, to apply a bit of context, though, this is from Express Employee. Basically, it's a bit of a running joke between Marco and some of the former players of West Ham that when Marco left, he stayed in touch with some of the former players. And when West Ham ever got beat, Marco would joke to them, just let me know if you want me back, kind of thing. Which reflects his ego a little bit. But to be fair, when he did turn up for West Ham, he was a match winner. He was worth goals, he was worth points and stuff. But just to give it context, he was sort of, I think it was a personal joke between him and Masuaku, rather than a come and get me plea to West Ham. Or it could have been a sly plea, if you like, covered up with the banter thing. Anyway, have you stopped fidgeting there?
Look, I need some. I don't know. I guess, is there like a microphone stand Viagra or something? It needs a boost.
I'm going to say no.
It needs fluffing or something. It's not. It keeps on drooping.
Touch it up, Jen. Touch it up. Feel it.
Yeah, it's not.
Give it a bit of foreplay, and then.
Oh well. I'll talk naughty to it, and then maybe.
Do that then. This could be interesting. Well, you do that, and we'll see. We'll get a bit of the Gonzo lingo.
Well, actually,
not a good start.
You don't need a Gonzo lingo. What I'm saying is, before the end of this cup of tea with Geo and Gonzo, you may find there's a massive floppage, if you know what I mean. So I'm just preparing, and followed by a loud crash and an almighty bang, very small bang actually. I'm probably doing myself, talking myself up a bit. It'd be pathetic, a pathetic little bang actually.
Well, you're gonna have to hold it then, aren't you, in your hand?
I usually do, Gio. Is the camera cutting me off there?
No.
Can you see the? You can see the. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, the little Gonzo.
So I can't even itch me whatsits for the whole duration of the.
No, don't touch your whatsits during the video, please. There's not much else to talk about. The only other news was from Extra Standpoint. What I found interesting was he said that Karen Brady's actually laid out the financial future, short term and long term, of West Ham United directly to the players to try and make them aware of just how severe it is in regards to them deferring or giving up their wages to the club, not necessarily to charity, but actually helping out West Ham's financial future. I mean, we are bloody skint. I know a lot of clubs are, okay, before people stay, hang on a minute. But even prior to this, West Ham were sort of, the cupboard was bare as it was, but this is just really, we are skinned. We've got no money whatsoever. The last couple of videos I said I think we'll have a net spend of 10 million at the most in the summer. I'm starting to go back on that, thinking we might have a profit of 10 million, and that's like in terms of spending the most. That's like best case scenario in terms of expenditure. We're in a little bit of trouble this summer, aren't we, West Ham?
Yeah, I believe so, but again, it's fine. I just want to watch some football now. I'd accept a lot. I'd accept a lot less, Gio. And you know what? You did your video about The other day, about us maybe, selling rice or whatever, or anyone's up for sale or everyone's up for sale and that sort of thing. Yeah, I mean,
I do believe that. I do believe that anyone's up for sale.
Yeah, I've got to be honest here, and I know I keep on contextualising it with everything else, but I just, you know what, I just want my job back. I just want to get back to work. I want to be able to go away for the weekend and take a stroll down the beach or blah 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 whatever. I go and have a kick around in the park. Go and see my mates and have a drink. Go out for a meal. All these things that you take for granted. I just think I'm missing all that stuff so much. If we have to lose a player to
So do you think this almost like because of everything? Do you think it's almost like not in terms of football, but in terms of life, it's probably the right time to sell a big player and do something you don't really want to do as a football club?
I think so. I mean, you said in your video, you almost get I can't remember your words, but you almost get a free pass. This is the time to do it. You won't be happy, but we'd understand, and I think we do understand. I think everyone understands. I think it's been a massive wake-up call. It's so easy to think that football's the most important thing in the world. I think everybody just realises now that it's not we miss it, we want it back. But I think now we realise, actually, it's entertainment. It's our entertainment. It's socialising. It kills some of our time. And, I just don't... I think there have been times where you'd be really angry at the board for selling a player. If, you're asking whether it's a good time. And social media would be furious that you'd sold somebody. I think now it would go from outright fury to, well, that's unfortunate. That's a shame. Okay, who are we going to get in? I think everybody now understands. I think there's been a lot of excuses for a long time. Maybe not just with our club, but we talk about our club of why money wasn't spent. I think we've heard a lot of stuff. Oh, we've had to pay this much to the agents. Oh, there's money not there. Oh, we didn't get that much for Upton Park. Oh, the move hasn't yielded as much. They haven't been able to get a naming rights, blah, blah, for the stadium. All of this stuff, you all get said. And I think historically, yeah, whatever. Rubbish. Where's our money? We're meant to be moving on to the next level. Why are we not buying some of the best players in Europe? I think if they said now we're skint, I think people would say, yeah, you probably are. We probably are, and obviously it's almost like we don't need to be. So there's an article on Claret and Hugh today saying having to rebate the season tickets will cost the club $6 million. And I think in previous times you would have felt, oh, that's them preparing us for bad news. Them saying, oh look, if we give you your ticket money back, we're going to be even more skint. I think they don't need to. I think we know. I think we understand. So yeah, mate. I wouldn't disagree. I think we are skint, and I think possibly a player will be sold. But in many respects, I think I wouldn't mind see what David Moyes can do with that in the Championship. I want to see what I can do. He went out and picked Bowen up. He went and got Souček. You mentioned we were talking on the phone, weren't we, earlier? I think there's things. There's things that he can do. It might be quite exciting to go and
I think it's a bigger challenge, and I think it's probably a better challenge actually for clubs like West Ham. I said it in the other video, but I think the clubs that are in the right position and who are taking advantage of this time, right? And you can't take advantage of this time as a football club by getting your scouting done. You can't go watch players, but you can access hours and hours and hours of footage of players. And to be fair, they've already got a database. They've already been scouting players up to this point. You can then just go back and go over them again and again and again. And I expect Moyes and the team, whoever that is, to have a list of players that they're going to go after in the summer, knowing that they've got next to no money to spend, because he's not going to get to the end of the season. Let's just say the season played out as normal till end of June, and come the end of June, there was the end of season transfer window open, hypothetically. He's not going to get to the end of June and then sit down with David Silver and go, so, Mr. Chairman, how much have we got to spend? Yeah. Moyes knows he's got £0 to spend. He's going to have to sell and use that money to buy. He's going to have to do it very clever. So there's no excuses on not just Moyes' part, but the scouts' part and David Silver's part here to get ready for a summer of picking up bargains, essentially. And that's where I think they've almost got to decide which big player they're going to sell, if anyone. Are you going to keep the same squad exactly the same and go again next season and not really buy any players in the summer? And fair enough, if you do, we can all completely understand that. Or are you going to sell someone and then use that funds to go get 2 or 3 players? And if so, I think you bloody better make sure you know who you're selling, because you don't want to get into the transfer window thinking, oh, I hope a bid comes in for that player, not that one or whatever. You need to sort of say, right, this is the guy we're selling here. We're going to sell this guy, and that's going to pay for X, Y, Z. Because you don't want to sit there, and then if you're hoping to sell Felipe Anderson maybe, and the bid comes in for Rice, thinking, crap, we need the money, but we'd rather sell him. I think we need to be a bit more decisive now, so we go into the transfer window with a clear strategy of surviving as a football club, and if we are going to spend any money. I actually think this window they'll get off with spending, or basically buying no players. They basically turn around and say, we're just going to go again with the same squad, we're not going to buy anyone. Unless a silly bid comes in, then we'll take it. But if no silly bid comes in, we're not selling anyone, we're not buying anyone. Because Moyes is still a new manager, he's still getting to know the squad again, and we've still got a good squad on paper. We'll lose Zabaleta and Sanchez, and it's not a big miss. We've replaced Zabaleta with Ngaki, and we don't need to replace Carlos Sanchez, do we? So if can Moyes go again? I think this season we're going to see the test of managers now. We're going to see the managers. Who has got it as a manager? Jurgen Klopp didn't buy anyone last summer. He used the same squad and went again, but he just improved it by improving the players that he had available to him. That's a good manager. What did Pep Guardiola do? He went and bought, threw money at Rodri and Cancelo, couldn't make them work. Then what? He lost his title, or he's going to lose his title. So I would argue Klopp's a better manager than Pep. Nuno's doing it with Wolves, hasn't really bought any big players for his squad, but he's improving the players he's got. And I think this next season we might see the challenge of all the managers in the Premier League and say, you're going to have to improve your squad without buying anyone. You're going to have to improve them. You're going to have to improve the way they play, either in training, whatever, change your formation. You're going to have to do something, because we need to improve, but you're not buying anyone. And I think it could be an interesting season next year, actually. And for once, money is getting taken out of it, bar one or two clubs, for obviously. But I think, generally speaking, most clubs are going to have a level playing field, actually, and it could be more fun in a way. It could be more fun. So
yeah, I think. I just want them to be transparent with it. If that's what are you drinking?
Cherry Coke.
Fair enough. I just want them to be transparent with it, right? I just want them to say, okay, if this is the one, you know what, we're skint, we need to get back 20 million, 30 million, we're going to sell Felipe Anderson, we can't afford to replace him, our idea is just Ngakia comes back, Diangana comes back, he's going to play in that position. Simple as that. That's all I want them to do. And I think if people are honest, I would like to see more honesty from the board. I would like to have heard them, I mean, he hinted at any David Gold's interview with Moose. Oh, they weren't promises, they were more intention, stuff like that. But he didn't say. I'd love them to come out and say, we got the whole stadium thing really wrong, we're sorry. I would love a sort of Alcoholics Anonymous cleansing from them, where they just come out and admit everything. So I just think if they can be transparent, I know we can all read between the lines, we can tell everyone's skin, but I don't think it'd go amiss for them just to say it. I do think there'll be movement, though. I don't think it'll just be the same ones, because I think Moyes will want to do something.
No,
He'll want to freshen up something.
I think there will be two. I don't think there'll be loads.
No.
But I think there will be some. But I think we're going to be relying on selling before we can buy, though. And I think every club's going to be in the same. We're almost going to have to wait for someone to take the gamble with the money a little bit.
Oh, look, as you were saying, you know what you said about, well, whatever, you know, Man United got lots of money. Man United come in, they buy Declan Rice because they can, and we need to sell.
Yeah.
Okay, well, or whatever, or Diop. Now, as I said, okay, in which case, Championship clubs. So we then go and buy Joe Rodden from Swansea because they need to sell. Swansea then go to whatever, a League One club or whatever, or someone else, or you know, even another club in a division who need to sell. They go and get Brentford's best centre back, and so on. And it has that knockdown effect. I think everybody's paying a little bit less than what they were worth beforehand. But if everybody needs to sell, then you know, you never know. We use that Diop money, we can buy two players. With whatever we buy Joe Rodden, Swansea can buy two players. So on and so forth. So yeah, I think something happens just on a small. I agree, on a smaller scale though.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else West Ham to discuss? Or are you ready to move on to some questions?
Let's move on to some questions.
Patreon, Twitter, or YouTube, or we'll do the live chat at the end, but there's some from YouTube earlier. Where would you like to start?
And has anyone written a letter or a postcard or anything? Any of those?
I've not received anything in my PO box.
Really? Oh.
Probably because I've not started a PO box.
Oh, right. Well, shame on them. Lazy. They've got nothing else to do. Let's be fair, have they? They could at least write us a letter.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, a letter. Anyone want to write a letter? Go on then. Let's do the Twitter ones and.
Right, okay, I had Patreon loaded up first. I guess.
Do the Patreon.
No, it's all right. I'm changing it now. I'm going on to Twitter now.
I've changed my mind now.
Well, I'm moving on to Twitter. I guess you were going to start with the Patreon, but I thought I'd give you the option anyway, and I got it wrong. Anyway, we've got some questions though. So, Woody, Hammers fans, Alan. He says, if you could organise 2 pre-season friendlies for West Ham, one home and one away, who would they be against? Let's assume the crowd can go. Let's pretend we're in an alright world.
One home. I think for home, I think I'd choose Newcastle United because they're the best team in the world. And I think away.
You've been getting some grief for your video earlier, haven't you?
Oh, massive grief, mate! Massive trolls.
I watched it and I thought Newcastle fans ain't going to take well to this, so I popped back.
I don't like it.
I popped back later.
I got a bit touchy.
I could pop back later, and some of them have been on the brown ale, and you've been getting some. Away the lads!
I've had 4. You know, you get the ones that are held for spam and some that are held for like abusive. I've had 4 wishes of coronavirus on me today, which I think is very nice. I've had 4 Newcastle fans wish the coronavirus on me, but excuse me. So yeah, sorry, bad joke, a bad taste. And talk about the nuclear brown ale there, by the way. Yeah, so Newcastle coming over, epic, best football club in the world. To go, do you know what, mate? I'm so desperate to get away. I'll probably maybe just go and see Bournemouth, something, go to the seaside, Southend. Be a nice trip to the seaside, wouldn't it? Something like that. Hold on, the Seychelles Rovers. Have they got a football team? Possible. Seychelles Rovers. Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Unless global warming's made the oceans rise since we've been locked down and there's no Seychelles anymore. Who knows?
I'll have Celtic at home. The talk of Rangers coming down is maybe want to see Celtic or Rangers actually at the London Stadium. It would be a big atmosphere. Away, to be fair, it depends because it's a friendly, right? So it's sort of like the home fans need to turn up, don't they? Naturally, I'm going to say Dortmund here, but I don't know if the Dortmund fans turn up for friendlies, so I'd be extremely disappointed if I went to Germany, went to Dortmund, really excited for the yellow wall, and actually the home fans weren't there and it was just empty. It'd be a bit like, oh, right. So I think you've got to pick I would maybe pick like Slavia Prague or something.
You've dressed for Dortmund.
It's not quite Dortmund, yeah. Someone was in the live chat was complimenting my choice of polo shirt earlier. I quite liked him, actually.
Did they mention my jacket? Did anyone mention my... No? Oh, well, fair enough.
No, I think they were actually a bit concerned you were going to start touching your Watsits, actually.
Well, to be fair, I'm showing enormous restraint. Or should I say tiny amount of restraint. Slavia Prague, you were saying?
Yeah. No pyro, no party and all that. So, yeah, the Prague Derby is actually one I'd like to attend at some point. If I had to write a bucket list of football matches to attend that involve West Ham, the Prague Derby would be my top 10 easily. It'd be one of the first ones I put in there, actually. That in Dortmund versus Schalke, that would be another one that would make my top 10 easily.
Are Dundee and Dundee United right opposite each other? I got that right. Like over the road, literally.
Yeah.
Do they hate each other?
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you not seen the palaver that's going on up here?
I know that the lower divisions have agreed to, and the casting vote was Dundee United. They agreed to end the season.
No, what happened was they all had to vote, right, by Friday. I think it was 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. And every club had put their vote in, except Dundee. Okay? Now, who's top of the championship? Dundee United. So
they don't want it to end. They do because they get promoted.
No. Dundee didn't vote, and Dundee United.
They're rival. Oh, I see. I'm with you. Okay, yeah.
So basically, then Dundee came out and said, "No, we did vote," the FA were basically saying, "We've not got your vote." So there's this whole debate about then turned out the vote sort of got sent but did go through. In the end, Dundee have agreed to end the season as it is, so it means Dundee United are now crowned champions and promoted and stuff. But the whole thing's come out, and every Scottish club's now been releasing statements saying they're not happy and they want the FA to step down and stuff like that. Oh, what a mess it's been. What an absolute mess it's been. And if any league were thinking about doing something similar, they're probably looking at Scotland now thinking, we are not doing that now. We are either avoiding it or we're playing it to a finish. We're not doing that stupid vote thing, because this is what happens. Now there's conspiracy, there's accusation of bungs and stuff getting thrown around. The whole thing's a mess, and they're now deciding on the Scottish Premiership, and obviously Celtic are top. Rangers don't want their season finishing. Oh, Jesus, this has been an absolute nightmare.
Oh, Jill, I love what you've just said there. To try and scupper their rivals, they pretended to send a document but didn't send it. Well, I think that's a great way to run football. Imagine if Tottenham had come in and they've bid for a player and you really don't want to sell him, and it's just the last hours of transfer deadline day, and the FA say, sorry, the transfer's not gone through, we didn't receive the documents. You would say, oh, I sent them, I stuck them in the fax machine, I sent the email, I don't know why that's not gone through.
I'm pretty certain, I could be wrong, but I think if Dundee voted no, it wouldn't have been ticked off. They needed 75% of clubs to vote yes to confirming the season as it is, and basically all the results got published, and it was sort of like, there's one club that's not voted, and if that's a yes it goes, and if it's a no it doesn't go. It's Dundee. So the focus very much went on them. They said, hang on, we sent ours. Now, and this is where the conspiracy gets worse. They initially, the email that they sent was for it to be no, we're not confirming this to stand, and then they changed their mind. So this is where all the accusations are really getting chucked around. Anyway,
it's in your junk folder, they're saying.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, back to the questions. Tommy Gunn, our friend Tom Bull says, Tom. Top 3 of your most played albums during lockdown.
I must be honest, Tom. I've not really been listening to any music. It's not like there's no music playing. I've just been making up 3. I haven't been, mate. The kids have been playing music. The missus had the music on. Terrible taste in music. My 15-year-old daughter, by the way, it's just atrocious. They seem to play the same songs over and over and over again. There's been a Justin Bieber song. Every time I go into the kitchen, there's a Justin Bieber song. If you said it, I would know it.
Sorry. Oh.
Is that what it's called?
That's the only one I know.
No, I think it's a new one. It's a new one, I think.
Okay, I don't know the new one.
I don't know.
I don't know Sorry either. I just know the title, just to be clear.
Yeah, there's no need to apologise. But in all honesty, Tom, I've not really been listening to much at all. Sorry to scupper your question, mate.
You could have just made 3 up, to be honest with you.
I know, but I would have been making 3 up, and I didn't want to be, I didn't want to make it up and pretend like Dundee. I just wanted to be honest.
The Verve for me, Urban Hymns, is my number 1 at the minute. I've been listening to Liam Gallagher's Radio X gig he done not that long ago. I've been listening to that. I like to listen to live music. It's not live, is it? But a concert music. I like to listen to that. So I've been listening to that a little bit because my summer Liam Gallagher concert's been cancelled. My Kasabian one's postponed till God knows when. My Liam Gallagher one's cancelled. I got my money back from my ticket and everything. Not even rearranging it. There's your money back. Forget it. Sad. And then they don't have an album. My third band don't have an album. They're small. They're a small band called The K's. The K's. K-S. Listen to it. It's Glass Towns is my favourite song. Listen to it. Check it out. If you like my kind of music, you might like it. Jordan says, Jordan Powered more. Any chance of current players coming on the channel? To be fair, 1 or 2 have said that come on, they're just not allowed. Which I understand, to be honest with you. I completely understand. So the answer's no, unfortunately. West Ham for life. Who's your favourite comedian?
Oh, that's a really good one.
Kevin Bridges. Easy. Kevin Bridges.
It's a very funny sketch with Kevin Bridges where he does this. He's trying to use the automated telephone service to book a film. And you phone up the cinema. He's trying to book a film, and it's press 1 to know which film would you speak after the tone. Speak the film, and he's saying how his accent is so broad that nobody could. It was just a funny one. He gets so frustrated with it because the voice on the end of it's English, don't understand him, and he shouts you shouts you stupid English bastards, and it says booking Inglorious Bastards. It's a funny sketch. All time. I quite like. I really like Eddie Murphy. I loved Eddie Murphy's old stand-up back in the day. I quite the more modern ones. I quite like that. I can't remember his name, but whenever I watched a sketch, he got into trouble for. I think he might have been masturbating or something. Not on stage. Louis C.K. Is that his name?
I don't know.
Louis C.K. That might be his name. He's got he hasn't got any hair actually. He's like bald, but he's got a little ginger goatee beard. Some of the right in there because it's not like he's unknown. He's funny. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, Kevin Bridges is good. Search on YouTube, Kevin Bridges Scarecrow. That joke is one of the... I went to see him live, and it's the only time I've ever cried at a live thing. To be fair, when I seen the Cortinas in Manchester just after the bombing, that I had a tear on my face then. I'm not too much of a man to admit that. When the week after the Manchester bombing, and the Cortinas read out, he read out a poem. Liam Frey read out a poem. Then everyone sang "Don't Look Back in Anger." I had a little tear then. But apart from that, when Kevin Bridges said the Scarecrow joke, I was crying with laughter, and I sent it to Charlie not long ago. Charlie tried to send me a voice note to say that he liked it. And he just started giggling halfway through again, Charlie. So yeah, that's good.
Hold on, before you do, I got one to recommend. It was Louis C.K. I was just trying to remember what it was. There's a comedian called Tom Stade, Stade. He does a sketch called Meat Van Man, which I think you've got to be English to get it. It's about the meat van at a market because he's American. It's his observation on it. It's very, very good.
So his sketch is called
Meat Van Man,
and he got done for masturbating.
No, it's a different comedian.
Oh, that's not as good.
Louis C.K. Yeah. So Tom Stade does the meat van sketch. It's an 8-minute sketch. Very funny.
I might watch it after. Benjamin, top 3 players you'd sign for the Championship and why? Let's not do the why, so we can speed it up a bit. But top 3 players you'd sign from the Championship.
Well, Joe Rodden, I think, is the best player there. I think you got your midfielder from Leeds, Geo.
Calvin Phillips.
Yeah, and one other.
Eze, the QPR player.
Yes, he's supposed to be very, very good, isn't he? It's funny enough, I do like whenever I've seen him play. And someone we actually got linked with was Pereira from West Brom. I think he's a very good player. Always looks really good. But the lad at QPR is excellent.
Yeah, Eze, Phillips, and probably Benrahma or Brentford for me. That would be my top 3, I think. Chris, will Geo ever drop his hate boner for the and watch Game of Thrones? I don't hate Game of Thrones. I just don't like it, but I don't dislike it. I've never watched it. It's just not for me. I know I won't like it. I just don't like that kind of genre. What?
Guess what I did? We did our Netflix thing.
Yeah.
And I listened. So I never let it be said that I'm a man who can't take advice.
Oh. Money Heist. Is it Money Heist?
Nay.
What one is it?
There's something else you were.
Unabomber's the other one.
No, I'd watched that. I'd watched 3 episodes.
Who else? Prison Break.
Yeah.
Are you getting into it now?
Well, I've done 2 episodes, and I will watch the 3rd. Yeah, interesting.
Ah, there we go. Happy days.
So there you go. So I did listen. And I thought about it afterwards. Okay, let's have a little go. But I think particularly as you said, it was one of your all-time favourites. Well, okay, if it's just something you'd seen last week, and you said, "Oh no, it's quite good," but okay, all-time favourite. That's quite a thing in your top 5 all-time favourites.
Yeah,
so I thought, okay.
Yeah, the characters are good. Just wait till you start to get to know T-Bone. I always get muddled up if he's called T-Bone or T-Bag, but I'm pretty sure. I know what T-Bag is.
No, I think it's T-Bag. He's the... I think he's quite cross at the moment because he thinks...
Just wait.
He thinks that the boy killed his boyfriend.
Oh,
he had to hold his pocket. You see, he had to hold his pocket. He empties his pocket. I said, hold me pocket. Ridiculous, pathetic. He was trying to get a bolt out the bench.
Yeah.
That's a spoiler for you. I'll tell you what. If that's not put anyone off watching, I don't know what will. So that makes it sound terrible, but it was better than I made it sound.
Yeah, I mean, he has a bit more luck than your microphone stand does, anyway.
Oh my, he's proud and firm and fruity. He's
has that got a pocket you can hold?
I just had a little dangly bit at the bottom. I'm just giving it a little twirl every now and again.
Forever Brolin, how many sugars do you have in your cup of tea?
2.
I don't have any tonight, though. I've got no milk. I've got no milk. It's a good story, though. I won't go into it, but it's a respectable reason not to have any milk. Patron questions. Duncan Miles. My wife's question. Well, that's a weird. This has got weird already. My wife's question. If you had to swap one physical characteristic with each other, what would you offer for what and why?
Physical characteristic.
Yeah.
What were you?
Yeah, we've got swap.
I'd be as tall as you. That'd do. Yeah, Duncan. I'd be as tall as Duncan. To be fair, Duncan's a tall, strapping man.
Yeah, so's
Ash.
Yeah, Ash is massive. He's a giant.
Big chaps.
Ash is a giant.
You know, good. Useful to be at the bar. It's funny actually. Useful when you get to the bar to be tall. If there's loads of people at the bar, it's useful to be small to worm your way to the front of the bar. But when you get there, no one notices you because you go, have a glass of lemonade, please. You got to wave more money. The smaller you are, you got to wave more money. So I'm there with, I've got 50s
that's the problem,
and diamonds and gold bullion. So barman, notice me.
That's the problem now. Waving your cash used to be the trick, but no one really has cash anymore, so you've got to wave your card, which is a bit more riskier, because if someone swipes it, you're in trouble, aren't you? For yours, you're not bad looking for 50, so I'll take your good looks up when I'm 50, I think.
yeah. Thank you, yeah. 50, lovely.
Thank you. Charlie says, what are your burger opinions? How do you construct yours? What are you having with it? Are you a pickle person? It's a lot of questions, but basically, what are you having on your burger?
Our Charlie.
Yeah, this is our Charlie.
Good. Well, Charlie, I had burgers this evening, mate. I fired up the barbecue earlier because it's going to rain tomorrow, apparently. So there you go. Okay, so it's very important with this. I want me on fried onions. Obviously, they're not on the barbecue. So you got your bap, you got your burger, and I do a slice of cheese, but the cheese has got to be melted. So actually, the cheese has got to go on the burger while it's cooking. Believe it or not, it's very hard to get that to melt. But anyway, so that's got to go. Then the burger goes in there. The onions go on top, and then we actually had a bit of bacon today. So I put the bacon. And I did the bacon on the barbecue. That went on there as well. Then some tomatoes. Then it goes on top. No sauce. I don't like sauces.
I'm not too far off yours. No onions for me though. But the bun, I like a toasted bun. I like to toast it. And I'm very picky about my buns. You see, I hate Warburtons. I think they're crap. They're like stale buns, and it just ruins everything. You go get a nice steak burger, you cook it nice, and then you put it in a cheap bun. It doesn't work. My local baker's buns are so nice. I eat them on their own. They're nice and fluffy, so the burger's important to me. Cheese, but again, I'm very picky about the cheese. It's got to be proper cheese. None of this cheese slices.
No,
it's not even called cheese slices. It just says 10 slices. It can't even be called cheese slices because there's not enough cheese in it. It's shiny. I've never. Do you know when you sometimes go to like football and you go to the burger van? I'm always wary because I'm like, I want a cheeseburger and I'm looking for the cheese because the last thing you want is to see the burger and then pick up that shiny orange thing that's like neon and slap it on. You think, oh well, I've just ruined it now. And I'm paying 50p for the cheese, and you just put a 1 pence slice on it, which is knocking me right off. So yeah, that's how I like. But bacon on pancakes or in a burger is the only time I'll eat streaky bacon. I won't eat streaky bacon otherwise, but I'll eat it on either pancakes or in a burger. Only time it's acceptable. But no pickles. Blah. No.
Well, I'd like to know what Charlie has on his burger now. He's got all this personal information out of us. He's collecting data, isn't he, from us, Charlie?
I'm getting hungry talking about a bit of barbecue sauce, so I do like a bit of barbecue sauce on mine.
I bought 6 Easter eggs yesterday.
Oh, that's not bad. I bought a couple. They were
49p from Aldi. 49p.
I went to Tesco and got the big £10 Lindt one, and the Malteser white chocolate truffles. £10 each down to £2 and £2.50.
Oh, that's for a Lindt egg. That's wonderful.
I was thinking a year ago you could buy 4 of these and nobody would raise an eyebrow, but because of the crisis we're in at the minute, would I get classed as a hoarder if I had purchased 4 Lindt Easter eggs?
No, because they reduced them down so they can't get rid of them. It's not like you've taken loads of milk or loads of
I did not risk it. I didn't risk it. I didn't want to cause a row in Tesco. I just took one. Just took what I was entitled to, and off I toddled on. It's a one-way system as well, so I was people was backing up behind me, so I've got to scoot along. So yeah, I only took one just so I didn't get so someone didn't take a picture of me and put on Facebook and go, look at this guy taking all the Lindt chocolate eggs. What are you going to do with that in 4 months' time? Well, still going to be eating it, to be honest with you. But it's gonna be nice.
Yeah, stock it up, save it up. I also got 4 of they had the bunnies. You know, like the bunnies that are in the tin foil.
Yeah.
19p each. Got 4 of them. I gave them to the kids. I've kept the 6 Easter eggs for myself.
Yeah, bargains. Dan was asking, what would Arnautovic have to do for fans to accept a return? We never really discussed that aspect of it. Is there any way back for you?
Well, there was. It's called apologising and pledging to do the right thing in the future. But unfortunately, he's already played that card. He's already apologised. He's already said. So they're hollow words. They wouldn't mean anything anymore. So
yeah, I wouldn't. There's nothing for me. You get your fingers burnt the first time. We got our fingers burnt off the second time round as well. We don't have any more fingers left. So I wouldn't be. No, nothing. There's nothing he could do. And Dan B says, if you could replace the London Stadium with any existing stadium in the world, it would still be in the Olympic Stadium Park though, what would it be and why?
I think the Dortmund one's meant to be nice, but I've not been there, so I'm conscious of picking a stadium that I've not actually been to. I've only seen on telly. I do like Chelsea's stadium. I think that whatever that 44,000 or whatever it is, right close to the pitch. I think 44,000 is about right for West Ham. Yeah, I like that. Every time I hear they want to build a new stadium, they want to pull it down, I think, well, that's you've got it about right there. I looked at Tottenham's magnificent venue, by the way, Geo. You can tell it's really built for corporate hospitality, and it does almost look a bit too big, although it's far better than ours, but I still didn't feel a lot of these very modern stadiums. They're not that close to the pitch. I don't mean 10 miles away like ours, but they're way back from the pitch, because you almost want one. I guess Anfield, I haven't seen Anfield since it's been 55,000, but I guess for them to do that, it must be right close to the pitch still, because it's still the original.
Yeah, footprint. But I could be wrong. I think they just took the roof off and added a bit, but I could be wrong. Yeah,
so that'll still be really, really close. Yeah. So it's maybe something like that. But yeah, Chelsea's ground's about right, I think.
St James's Park for me is massive, so it doesn't ever need expanded, and also the away fans are right up in the top tier. I like that about it. As a Newcastle fan, I would love that. Look at you stuck up there, you can't help your team, you're miles away from vocally being able to support it. It's right in this. Okay, he did say it's going to be in an Olympic Park. I always say it's right in the middle of the city as well, which I like. But I think St James's Park's a fantastic stadium. Actually, it is right close and holds a lot of people, can make a lot of noise. YouTube comments that was left before we went live. We'll get to your live chat soon, don't worry. There's only a few of these because most of them are about Arnautovic, so I'm just skipping those ones. HL 2002, who's your favourite player in the Premier League who doesn't play for West Ham? His is Bernardo Silva.
Oh, favourite player. Well, that's an interesting one. I do like Van Dijk, which is weird, really. I normally like attacking players, but I just think he's so class. And you know this. I said it to you when we saw him and he was at Southampton. Do you remember we did our? Yeah. I went to the game. We did the thing afterwards. So this boy's magnificent. Really good. Yeah, I just think he does look like the best defender in the world when you see him play as well. So yeah, maybe that.
But Charlison's mine. I think I just like everything about him. The way he plays football, his attitude. I think he's got star quality. I just think I love watching Richarlison play football as well. Him or McTominay. I really like McTominay. It's not just because of the Scottish thing. I think he's severely underrated. Maybe it's because everybody likes to pick on Man United and stuff, which I can go along with. I don't mind picking on Man United, but I do think he's a lot better than he's given credit for. Eric, funny enough, this is actually after it. Who's your all-time favourite non-West Ham player? All-time.
Crikey, I'm going to sound like I'm not. That as Liverpool, isn't it? Roy Keane, probably. I mean, probably the player that I've most loved to watch would be Ronaldinho, because Ronaldinho, I know Messi's stats are better and Ronaldo's stats are better, but it's actually a player to watch. Ronaldinho, actually, in terms of players, I've looked at their ability. I think in a team game, you can either do one thing. You can be brilliant like Ronaldinho or Messi and almost win the game single-handed, or you can have such an influence with your play and your captaincy, you can actually make everybody else in the team better and play for you. And actually, Tony Adams and Roy Keane were really special players like that. I don't see anyone like them, like those guys at the moment. You see shadows of them sometimes. You see the you saw it this season. The geezer Tyrone Mings. Aston Villa this season, where he started having a go at his players, and so you see little, but I mean, this is what these guys were like all the time to actually lift your team. I mean,
Troy Deeney.
Sorry,
Troy Deeney.
Troy Deeney's got some captaincy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Troy Deeney is a leader, but I just think there's this. But I think for leadership reasons, they were good players as well. Roy Keane was one of the best midfielders in the world in his pomp, and so was Tony Adams, one of the best centre backs. But actually, to lift a team around you and have that much influence on everyone around you, I think it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Zidane, as a small child, Zidane was my first footballing idol, if you like. And then when I grew up as a kid, I had my West Ham posters on the wall. Used to get well chuffed when I got my Match magazine through, and I had a West Ham pull out in the middle because I would have to go through the teams. Do you remember the Match magazine?
Okay.
Yeah, I used to get Match magazine, so you open it up and in the centre fold would be Michael Carey. You think, way out it comes carefully. Don't want to rip it because of the staples. You'd have to stick out a boot at. But I had a few non-West Ham players. Zidane, Henry, and Beckham were my three non-West Ham players. David Beckham, I used to love watching. I hated the fact that he was English. Hated the fact that he played for Man United because I used to hate Man U as a club. I still do, but back then I used to really hate Man U as a club. They were like my Millwall and Spurs, if you want. But I used to just love watching him play football. I used to try and shape my body to cross like David Beckham, but it would end up going like miles as the way it's meant to go. Then I just sort of realised I just can't cross like he did, because he had that thing. He used to put his arm out and swing it as he crossed it, didn't he?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
He used to do that stance. He would lean quite a lot as well to one
that
side.
Was the balance. I think the arm out was the balance.
So he would lean to one side, and his arm would come out and swing as he kicked it. So I used to keep trying to do that, and the ball, I would shank the ball miles to the side. It was almost like I was playing rugby the way the ball went.
Slap the linesman in the face with your arm. Yeah.
Yeah. So Beckham was probably my sort of first. My big idol, if you like. Now, anyway, we're going to go to the live chat. So if you're on the live chat, get your questions in. If I don't pick it up, just copy and paste it, please, because it's difficult to keep it on live chat. But the last question is from Nigel. He put my full name here. He wrote Geo Gonzo. I mean,
I like that. Nigel sounds like the type of guy that wants to write a letter.
That's authority. That is, though, isn't it? But why has he put my surname? There's only one Geo, and there's only two of us on the show.
Two Geos on the show?
No, there's only two people on the show as there is. Never mind. Two Geos.
I like it. I like that.
It's very firm. Geo Gonzo, are you going to renew your season ticket in 229? I mean, this is a lot of personal information.
It really is. It really is. Will you still be going to the toilet in the block? Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm joking, Nigel. It's.
Are you gonna? I don't even know if there's going to be anything to renew. You know. But we might get half a season ticket, from January onwards. But if the season goes ahead in like September, I don't think we're attending the first 5-10 games of the season. Or if we are, it's going to be like lucky dip. 5,000 of you can come, and then you'll get your turn, and then it'll be the next 5,000, and so on and so forth. But I can't. I don't know when football's coming back. Football will come back eventually, but I don't know when we're getting back. Anyway, we've got a few questions coming in, so let's jump to live chat. Oi, Ducky. I like that Twitter name.
Hey, now, what was he called before?
Oi.
No, before that, he's had a few naughty names. He was that he might have been Cookie Monster or something before. Yeah. He's done a few. He's naughty.
Oi, Ducky says,
he's naughty.
Do you and Gonzo see yourself doing this past 50 years old?
Well, according to Geo, I am 50 years old.
I think you'll be doing this next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what am I going to do? I'm not going to flaming keep doing it, put in all the hard work and all the rest of it, and stop doing it. And I enjoy doing it. I've said, many times. Actually, you know, like if West Ham play really badly, the amount of times me and Geo get on and we slag the team off, and then it's actually therapeutic. You feel a lot better, believe it or not. This is therapy after a game. You get it all out of your system. So,
and if you don't believe us, next time we get beaten, you're really angry. Get your phone out, film yourself, have a little rant, and send it to us, and we'll put it up, and you'll feel better. And we get a good video as well. So, you know, win-win-win. Everyone wins here.
Yeah, just don't slag Newcastle off in the video, otherwise you'll feel worse then because you'll get trolled and with death wished on you.
You did call a potential new owner a human, like a slavery.
I didn't say it was slavery. I said... I didn't specify. What I said was just go and look at the documentary, go and look at the history, and decide whether you think you'd want that. I
get exactly what you were saying. I agree with you.
Yeah. Human rights record's terrible.
Hopefully Newcastle fans haven't made it this far into a cup of tea, otherwise I'm in trouble. Daniel Lett says if Noble wants to feature, it wasn't to feature as much next season. Who would you like to see have the captain's armband?
Well, I think it's just the natural one is obviously Declan Rice. I don't think there's any other choice. Yeah. Unless you're going to think of any other choice. No. I think if you knew he was going to stick around, then I think there's a reason that Diop was captain at Toulouse at 19. So obviously there's some leadership qualities there. But I do think Declan Rice is a natural choice.
I completely agree. I think it has to be Rice. I think it's also... You've got to almost give him something to stay for, and captain's armband at that age is something to stay for as well. I think puts a bit of responsibility on him. It's one thing a player leaving your club, but when your captain leaves a club, it's a bigger thing. I don't want to say like trap Declan Rice, but
guilt trip.
Yeah, it'll give him a bit more motivation to stay in. I think we'll see a better Declan as well, because when he was captain, was it Leicester we played? When he was the captain, he raised his game because he was now able to. Before, you can always see Declan speaking to players, but when you're not the captain, you're shouting at more experienced players. It takes a little bit of bollocks to do that, but when you've got the captain's armband, you've got the authority to do that, and that's completely different. David Avery says left back for next season? ?
Well, I don't
think you're good enough, to be honest with you, Gonzo. I think you're too old for that role.
I am nearly 70, aren't I? So I think you start with Cresswell, but I would like to see Ben Johnson coming in as the under. I don't want to see Masuaku just coming in. I want to see Ben Johnson coming in with there, really.
I'd like to see us buy a new left back. Cresswell will remain at West Ham and in the squad, but I'd like to see someone else come in. Sorry, I'm just reading all the things. Tone, what's the percentage of Anderson leaving this summer?
Tone. A high percentage. I think he's... I would go as far as to say he's mostly likely to leave. I don't know, 60-70% likely to leave.
I'll say 60% as well. I think... it's his fee. If he was a £10 million player, I would say 75%. But because it's not a £10 million player, we're talking about a £30 million player here. Is anyone going to stump up that cash for him? I think they would like to. It's just I don't think they can. So I don't know. I'll say 30%. Actually, I'm going to come down on that. Someone did actually. I missed that when I was reading it because YouTube has changed now. Before, if you went onto YouTube, you got the comments on the videos. On an app called the Studio app, the comments and videos would go there in order. Doesn't matter what video it is. You could comment on a video 5 years ago and it would come up at the top. But now when you comment on posts, it goes in there as well, which sounds helpful. And to be honest, it has been helpful. So I went on there just now. But all the comments on the post about the questions for this show is mixed in with comments on the videos.
Yes.
So it's all like, but someone did ask earlier, would you keep Anderson and play him in a front three with Sebastian Haller? Would we see a different Felipe Anderson?
I think we were seeing a different Felipe Anderson before he got injured. I think he was being deployed central in the number 10. I think we saw that. We saw 2 games. We saw a glimmer of it. Then he got injured, and then Moyes stumbled, come to another formation. Bowen's come in. It's changed. There's not that role for him there, really. In all honesty, because he's playing Antonio in and around Sebastian Haller. So I wasn't the number 10 just behind Haller wasn't a position that he was playing anymore.
Yeah. Nicola says, "What stadium would you like to go to that you haven't been to yet?"
What stadium?
It's got to be Dortmund. It just has to be.
Yes. Yeah, it would be nice. I've always wanted to go to the Luzhniki Stadium, but then again, I'd be happy to go anywhere. I'll go to Reading. I've been there, but I'd go anywhere at the moment. Dortmund's a good shout. I guess the natural one, people say the Nou Camp, don't they? But I get a bit of vertigo, to be honest with you. I've looked at. You ever been up in the O2, right? You ever been up there, the O2, in the top thing? It's like that. Right, honestly, it's like, hey, whoa, hold on a second. You feel like you'd fall down for miles. You went up there. I don't like it. So I don't, maybe pitch level. Pitch level.
You didn't like it at the Orbital when we were up at the Orbital when we first went
horrible,
there.
horrible walking on the.
It's got the grated floor, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's what I was doing. That was it. It was a lattice. I'm doing a lattice pattern. My hand there. Yeah, standing on the grated floor with death below you.
Yeah.
I hated it. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you said to me, "I don't really like heights," and you were standing there filming, and I didn't really take your sort of thing too serious, so I started jumping up and down on the grate, and Gonzo did not like it. He was not happy when we bouncing up and down on the grate next to him.
It's not natural. I don't even like bridges. You know the Severn Bridge that goes to Wales. It's a mile long, and I hate it. I mean, I even get nervous. Honestly, it was driving Miss Daisy, and I've had to drive over there. He's 70 over the bridge. I think I must have driven across that bridge at 40 mile an hour, staying right. Oh, come on, hold it together, man, hold it together. Yeah, I've got a massive fear of heights, really.
Ben Davies says, "Do you think the League Cup will be scrapped soon?"
I think it was on its way, Ben. Yeah, I think to answer your question, this may well push it over the edge. Yeah. I think it'll be the first thing to go when they come round to all this. I mean, you got to remember what the League Cup is. The League Cup is run by the Football League, or the EFL as it's now called. They're going to have a lot of stuff to deal with before they get round to the cup competition, as well as the impact on the calendar. So yeah, I would imagine it's certainly going to happen at some point.
Richie, if the club offers 80 million for Declan Rice, but he wants to stay, what would you decide if you had to choose?
Oh, well, I think you make him stay. You don't want to force someone out that doesn't want to do it, and I think that would show such commitment. You think you'll remember Declan Rice is almost every game our best player.
Yeah,
that's really something. If a player like that, who has got leadership qualities, which we've discussed importantly already in this program, is already. I just think that's, to show that desire to want to stay. Someone comes out 80 million. No, I want to stay at West Ham. Your best player. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I would sell him, to be honest with you. 80 million. I would sell him. I would force him out, obviously, but if I said to him, this club is coming, because if it's 80 million, it's a good club. It's a Champions League club that's coming for him.
Or Newcastle.
Or Newcastle, and therefore it would be a good move for him, probably. So I would certainly turn around and say, listen, if you want to go, there you go. You can go speak to the club. 80 million. We can do some damage like that as a football club. We can have confidence, and you should have confidence as a director of football. You should have confidence. If you get 80 million, you can replace anyone in your squad and improve at least one other position in your team. If not, you're probably in the wrong job, to be honest with you. Mark Boundy, is there any players in Scotland worth targeting?
Don't think so, Mark. I'm sorry. I hear that young Dembele's very good at Celtic.
There's two from there's one and a half. The half is Mikey Johnson at Celtic. He's a young lad, but he's supposed to have a really big future. But it's a wait and see. It's not really, he's still really young, but we'll wait and see. The other one is Celtic striker Edouard. I think he's got it. I think he's a young French international as well. I think he'll be not a massive player, but I do think he's going to have a very, very good career ahead of him. But he's not going to be cheap. People have a perception of Scotland that because there's no money in the game, you can come up here and get the players cheap. I don't necessarily think that happens. Okay, it's cheap in context to the Premier League, but I don't think it's any less cheaper than like going to a French club and getting a player. I think the price is very similar for the level of player again. But Edouard of Celtic, I think he's a better striker than Morales, to be honest with you. It won't be a popular opinion. Morales gets the headlines, but I think Edouard's better. So that's who we go for. I would happily see him at West Ham. I think he's, I say better than a Yeti. I'm not even bloody seen a Yeti ever, so I don't really know.
He's like Loch Ness, isn't he? He's like Loch Ness monster.
Yeah, but that's where I'll go to a Yeti. So there's people just commenting about behind closed doors. Someone did ask, Foshizi said he did the whole Geo Maki thing. Geo Maki, what do you think?
I know this gentleman. Yes.
You do know that. He was asking what we think about us targeting domestic players. Are you happy with that? Are you happy with us sticking to the Championship and what we know?
Yeah, I think it's more important than ever. I don't mean it's not value abroad. I just think there's going to be a whole. But this is going to reset. This is going to reset everything. I haven't said that. I love what Souček said. I love him going back and appearing on the Slavia Prague YouTube channel. I wonder how many subscribers they got. Anyway, I loved him going onto the Slavia Prague YouTube channel and saying I really like it at West Ham, and I think that's great to go back to your old club and say, look, I loved it here, but I really like it there. Clearly, he's not going to have a problem settling and stuff like that. But I do think there are a number of players, as I've mentioned on numerous occasions, who are going to be unsettled. So because of everything that's happened, find themselves in a nasty situation in a foreign country. So as many homegrown players as we can, I think is a good thing. It
could drive the prices of Championship players up a little bit, though. Everybody will be thinking the same as we are. Crystal Palace fans, Wolves fans, they'll be thinking, well, not Wolves because they've got a Portuguese super agent, but Palace and I don't know, Bournemouth will all be looking at the same league now, won't they? So there's probably more competition. When we went in for Jared Bowen, we didn't really have much competition. There was rumours of Newcastle coming in for him as well, but
they're beyond that now.
A bit never materialised or that, but I think if you were to go in the summer and go for like Eze or Calvin Phillips or stuff, I think you'd have big competition pretty quick. I think there'll be a lot of other Premier League clubs will move as well. So the Championship could become a fiercely competitive market for Premier League buyers, which is perfectly understandable.
Feeding frenzy.
Yes, something like that. Gary Page, would you two be happy to mark? Would you two be happy to mark up on corners anytime soon?
Mark up on corners?
I'm not sure what that means.
What, for us to play?
Yeah.
Or for our team to mark up on corners?
I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means?
I don't know. I thought he was going to ask, since I know Gary. I thought Gary was going to say, would you two be happy to play Mark Noble's testimonial? I thought that's the route he was going. I was going to say, yes, Gary. Yeah, I would. I've actually taken to running when I take the dogs out for a walk. Believe it or not, I've run for the last 5 days running. I'm fit. I'm not quite match fit, but I'm sort of ready.
For a 50-year-old, you're in good shape.
The goal's set up in a garden, so I've been, curling some ones into the top corner. Marking up on corners, I don't know. I'm too short to mark up on corners anyway. I'll probably be the one taking the corner, maybe. In swinger.
Ben Davies says, did you talk about Rio Ferdinand and his confession about him playing drunk at West Ham? No, we didn't talk about it.
No.
Did you see it?
Yeah. I did, and I just thought in terms of video, it's a bit of a tap-in, do you know what I mean? So I didn't. I don't know what more you say about it. What drinking culture under Harry Redknapp? Well,
I think it was a Premier League thing as well back then. It was just a little bit less serious until Arsene arrived. It was sort of, I don't want to say the norm, but it was something you just shrug at, really, don't you? So it's not really something that bothers me too much, and not something that surprises me. Did you see Matty Cash as apparently sort of implied that West Ham still want him?
No, but I saw an interview with him. He was, like doing Sky Sports. I only started watching it last few days, Sky Sports News, and he was basically doing this, Geo, on Sky Sports News. And
can I just say about that? I'm glad that this has happened. I was watching something earlier, and their production, I almost want to say ours is better, to be honest with you. They're not coping with the whole webcam situation, are they? Sky Sports, they're trying to do all this sort of stuff, and it's not easy. You can have all the gear and all the money and stuff, but it's not that easy. So I think this might show, when you watch that, I almost hope people appreciate how difficult it is to do a webcam show, because the theory is easy, isn't it? Oh, well, you just turn your webcam on and away you go and all that, but it's not quite as straightforward as that. But I think I think the fact that Sky Sports, they're not struggling, but some of the people are pixelated or it's a bit disorientated. The audio isn't that great, and you're thinking, fantastic, this is what we need. Multi-millionaires struggling to have a webcam chat. That's what I am here for.
It's absolutely true. I watched Graham Souness, Jamie Carragher, David Jones. There were 4 of them on, and we've tried 4 before, and it's difficult with 4 anyway. But even when there were 3, they were talking over each other. One of them would crack a joke because there was a slight delay as well, and you could just see they were really, really struggling with it. So, but this Matty Cash interview was fine because it was just him and the interviewer, and he was saying how people were saying that he couldn't be a right back, so he was determined to prove them wrong. But I hadn't heard any. How did he hint about West Ham?
He basically just said that West Ham want him. He basically that his agents told him that West Ham are going to come back in for him, or are back in for him now, like for the summer. That's what's getting implied, if you like, which makes sense because I'm pretty certain we did go for him in January. I'm pretty sure that interest in the bid in Matty Cash was genuine. I do believe that, and we never went and signed a right back in January, so for us to target a right back, then suddenly decide we don't want a right back, which Ngakia does sort of give a little bit of kudos to that. I don't believe all of a sudden we've looked at Matty Cash and said that's the player we want, and then we've just gone, actually, Matty Cash, bugger it, off you go. You don't do that, do you? You still try and pursue him in the next window if he's impressed between windows, which he is doing, and Forrest is doing. Forrest is climbing the table. So I believe there is probably genuine interest in someone like Cash, and it ties into what the type of player Moyes is wanting. So it ticks all the boxes. He can play centre mid, can play right back, one of the best performing players in the Championship this season. I don't see a reason to think we wouldn't go in for him, apart from money. But then it's the domino effect, and we sell a player, Matty Cash becomes a realistic target.
And it's a great name. It is a great name.
There's a lot of headlines to made out. Yeah.
Cash grab and stuff like that.
Yeah, cashing in. There's loads of fantastic.
Oh, I like it. Yeah.
But anyway,
Charlie, get designing those thumbnails, old son.
Charlie will be loving it. He'll be enjoying it. Anyway, we'll start wrapping that up. We've been going for an hour and 15 minutes now.
Yeah. Please do.
Did you enjoy your cup of tea?
The show or this one?
Both.
Both were very nice, actually, mate. I couldn't decide between the 2 of them. Although, unlike this show, the tea has gone decidedly cold.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's great catching up as always. I do enjoy these chit chats. We'll do another one next week. There's still questions coming in. A lot of questions about hypothetical situations regarding takeovers and potential takeovers, which I think might have been inspired by activity in the Northeast. And what are you wiggling your finger at me for?
You were going to mention the FIFA at all?
No. What FIFA?
Okay.
When we're recording that, when are we recording? We haven't played the Burnley game yet. When are we doing that? There's a story behind our FIFA. We'll tell you in the FIFA video, which we do actually have to kind of record, but kind of have recorded it. I don't know, it's difficult.
We criticise Sky Sports News for not being not having a technique to record stuff, but maybe yeah.
Anyway,
we'll let that one go.
If you've enjoyed this cup of tea, drop a like on it. We've got a different video coming up tomorrow. What are you doing on the forum channel tomorrow? What's the topic? Have you done it?
Haven't decided yet.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, there we go. That's useful, isn't it? There's no exclusive for you in this video.
Sorry. I honestly haven't decided.
Oh, someone had a good idea. Actually, hang on. Viewers, wait. Gonzo, wait. Someone had a good idea. Someone says, why don't we pick a game to watch and then we watch it together? So we'll do like a watch along, and the viewers know what game we're going to watch, so we can all watch the same YouTube video essentially, and we do like a watch along of the YouTube video.
I don't mind. Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah,
I don't even know what game to do.
Oh right, okay, go on then.
West Ham 2, Ipswich 0. It's on YouTube. I've seen it.
The whole match is on YouTube.
Yes. The whole program's on YouTube. It's 2 hours long. So we'll have to get the kick-off bit, and then we'll go live, and then we'll tell people it's kicking off. And there's a 30-second delay from people listening to us, but because we're all watching on YouTube, there won't be one, because we'll shout kick-off, and they'll push play on YouTube, and we'll all be watching at the same time. We can all get a beer. Pop the beer.
I've got 1 beer in the house, by the way.
That's enough. Just sip it.
Okay, all right, fine.
Just sip it. You just have to make it last. You just have to make it last. So if people want us to do a watch along, let us know and we'll set one up for. It doesn't have to be Saturday, but we'll set one up for one day. We'll get a beer. Everyone get a beer. Get a glass.
Everyone.
If you're happy with West Ham 2, Ipswich 0, let me know and we'll do that one. If not, put your suggestions in. But it's got to be on YouTube. You got to go find the game on YouTube. Can't just come along and tell me what game you want, and then I can't find it on YouTube. You've got to go do the legwork and find it on YouTube yourself and come back and say, this game, here it is on YouTube. There's the link. Because when we go live, we will give everyone the link to that video and say, here's the video, go watch it, get ready, we'll all watch it, mute it.
Maybe we all sip our beer every time there's a foul or something.
Yeah.
Or a corner or something like, I don't know.
Well, as we say, we'll have a shot every time there's a goal, but we know how much goals there are, don't we? So it's not so fun then, is it?
You'd be really worried if one person was smashed and the other one wasn't. Hold on, what's going on here?
Shot every time there's a goal. Right, well, we're watching West Ham 5, Bradford 4. We're watching that now. So if people want to watch it, if people want to do that for a little bit of fun, we'll do it. We'll get the live chat. We'll have a discussion in live chat. We'll chat during the game as well. As
it'll be like the biggest, what do they do it? Like, the missus doing it, you know, with the thing. But they all doing Zoom. It'll be like the biggest Zoom you've ever done. Everyone we'll have a party together.
Yeah, we'll have a good old we'll have a good chit chat. But anyway, Gonzo, I shall see you. I don't know, whenever we're playing FIFA. I'll speak to you tomorrow at some point. Anyway.
You definitely speak to me tomorrow. If anyone's got an idea for tomorrow's video, please pop it in the comment. Not in the chat, not in the live chat, underneath.
Not about Newcastle.
Well, I'll tell you what, mate. Looks like I may be unpopular, but the video's banging. It's doing the numbers. So yeah. I might just have a pop tomorrow as well.
Anyway, like the video if you enjoy it, it's guiding you around here, and we'll catch you in a bit.